Is it just me, or does this have the potential to be the sexiest thing you've ever seen? Yeah, maybe not. Still, we can try. And step one today is going to be dealing with this. So, if I get a shout out from these guys at some point, I will put another sticker on somewhere, but nah, these need to go. I mean, honestly, look at them. They're terrible. And I've got glass. Like, it's time to just put glass in. The reason I've kind of put off doing this for so long is because with the rest of the horrors I've found in this car, I am genuinely petrified about what I'm going to find underneath this metal. I mean, from the inside, I can see rivets. I can see all sorts. I wouldn't be surprised if these are bloody well welded in. But let's get them out and see what we're dealing with. Noise, carnage, pain and misery. So apologies for the grinding that's not actually coming from me for a change. Hello. Happy man. So, we are doing things. As you can see, I've managed to get these trims off without killing them, which I believe for a Toyota Supra this vintage is an achievement. These will be getting flattened down and repainted. Fucking hell, that's so annoyingly loud. I might abandon chatting at this point. So I'm going to try and get this guy out. Well, I was going to try and get this guy out, but I think the window actually holds it down. Now, I say window, that's, you know, the bit of steel is holding this down. So I'm going to try and pry the steel out first and see where that gets me.
Aluminium windows. It's not a very good window if it's made.
I mean,
if it's not transparent, is it?
It's up there with like the best privacy glass. Tint level 100.
There you go. That's just so random, isn't it? I mean, what's going on? Why?
Why not?
Why?
Why not?
Do you think what's happened is one of them gets smashed?
Yeah.
And a wee bit.
I mean, they are clearly lighter than glass.
Yeah, I'll give them that. They are quite great. And they don't smash, they just bend, and you can just reshape your...
You've got a template sitting there.
Reshape your window after it gets dented.
Nice simple template, just sitting ready to go. Right, that's the can't even hear myself. Ugh, there we go. Right, that's the surface ready, more or less. We're going to let the cure set, hit it with some primer, and then just spray over with some paint just to keep it sealed. Obviously the whole car will get paint at a later point in time, but I want the layer going under where we're bonding this window in to be nice and rust free. The only problem I've still got, this is the lower window trim, right? Now I think this is going to have to go on with the window, and the window will, as it bonds in place, bite into this. As you can see, we've got grooves here and it's just not clicking in without being on the window first. The only issue I've got with this, one, obviously, because it's for a Mark III Supra, it's made out of unobtainium, and two, the powder coat's starting to flake. Now, my plan here is to just take the powder coat off, paint it black, and stick it on. I'm going to have to get creative though once it's on, because if you look really closely, you'll see that around about here, we've got a lip. Now that lip is obviously part of a wee water seal to help drainage not go under the window. It's not going to be there if I take the powder coat off. So I might have to seal this very, very carefully with some silicone once it goes back on. It's probably not going to be very noticeable because it's black, but as you can see, there's not much hope for the actual powder coat staying on. So, how to get this off? As you can see, I have been running along with this brutal bastard so gently, just to give myself an open edge all the way down here, and I'm just going to peel the rest of it off. What I don't want to do is get too aggressive in this, not because the surface finish is a big concern, but if that wire wheel picks up in this and pings it, it's going to bend it and kink it, and therefore scrap it. Remember, unobtainium. So, as you can see, the wire wheeling actually giving this a nice wee dull key. Actually quite hard to pick up, but catching light right. Yeah, there we go, it's no longer chrome. That's the main point, because now we're going to hit it with primer. And as we all know, paint and shiny surfaces do not go well together. So this is exciting. This is the one tin of Jade Mica Green that I ordered. Now, I was going to use this in the spoiler, and then there was no point because the whole spoiler needed to be painted. But I'm going to use it here because obviously there'll be bits that when the car gets resprayed, I don't want it to be like black. I want it to have an overlap of green around the window that gets matched. So, reason why it's exciting is, well, look at the car. I've not really had a context of what a good fresh Jade Mica Green should look like, so this one tiny wee patch will actually be what the whole car will eventually look like. Looks black. Right, well I didn't film taking the radiator out because I don't know how many times I can actually do this on Tools and Track and be interesting with it, but that's the radiator out. So what we've got is potential problems and potential solutions. So first off, the belt's off and the pulley's off because the pulley is absolute death. But the problem with the pulley being death is you just don't get pulleys for these anymore. So what I found instead is a close match. This is a 419-602. It's just part numbers, but this comes off a Jeep Cherokee 2.5 diesel, I think. Anyway, the chat is, it's got the right bearing bore, it's got the right diameter and the right offset, so I'm kind of hoping this is going to work, because if it doesn't, I don't have a solution for this. So, I didn't go with the coil. By the way, this is odd because of all the parts I can't get for this Supra, the one prolific thing I can always get for some reason is a multitude of radiators options. So coil was there, but it was eye-wateringly expensive, and as we've just seen, it doesn't make it any stronger, so I don't know why I would bother with that. So we went in the middle ground. There are cheap, unbranded options which I don't really trust, especially given the sort of fun I had with the TVR, which went through about 3 of these. So Jap Speed, good enough name. Definitely comes with packaging, which is good. I'm sure there are people that actually do unboxing much better than me, because all I'm doing is going, yeah, that's the same as what came out. long as it fits.
I was actually going to say this bit's like a minute long. Most people drag this out over like the space of like 5 minutes. But then they probably fire in about 4 adverts in the middle.
I've got things to do. I've got time for that. The most important part for me is making sure it's got the bolt holes, which is good. It's got a bleed on it, which is good. What does it not have though? Which I've just clocked straight away. Temperature sensor. Like that. He hopes. Because if it doesn't, we're going to have some fucking problems. Nope. Right, this is actually also completely fucking different. I don't have a boss there. Ah, shit. And they're further compounded by not having radiator brackets on the top. So the big question is, what is this actually for? Because it's clearly not for a Supra. Right, well it's boxed back up, and I'm starting to do the really horrible minge bag thing of debating whether or not this is going to be a safe thing to put back in. But in reality, there is no debate, because I don't have anything else to put in it. So, I mean, it's done nearly 500 clicks without rupturing, so the wee repair we've done is clearly holding up okay. Yes, this is still going to be on my to-do list, but well, we had a belt and a tensioner to do, so that was a radiator out job regardless. So, right, next up, put the rad back in, and then I need to get some decent wins. Shall we look at some nice things to put in the car? So in the last episode, when I was sitting broken down at the side of the road, depressed, bored and waiting for a tow truck to arrive, I caught something that I hadn't realised up until that point. Namely, when you take the roll cage out, you really should look for things that are missing. Things like this. Yeah, the car doesn't have any sun visors, which is great, obviously. I don't even think it's an MOT fail, if I'm being honest, but clearly it needs them because it's horrific driving into the sun. And I'm not one for having stupid big sun strips that cover half the windscreen. So naturally, we need to go to eBay. But that's where things fall down in their arse, because once you get to eBay, you realise that you're looking at 150 quid again for two sun visors that are most likely seized, absolutely filthy, probably not even the right colour because they need to be sort of dark grey. This is not another one that can be solved by just buying my way out of it. So, what do we do instead? Well, if at first you don't Supra, consider Celica. Obviously I did this as a borrow, but I decided to take the sun visors off the poor wee Celica that's been repaired. And lo and behold, the mounts for them are actually the same as the Supra ones. Well, the problem is, the sun visors, which I subsequently went and bought, are not. But are they close enough? Good question. I've had a wee look, and if it's a question of just making them fit, the physical space is okay. The only issue is I think the side here that you would need a clip for, that's not going to line up. My bolt hole for that's there. But crucially, it will give me a sun visor. The only big issue, as you probably worked out by now, they're a completely different colour. But I can take a wrong colour over a part that doesn't exist with some light minge baggery. So, we are about to put on sun visors, but I have just stopped myself short because of a slight problem known as sagging headlining. Now, the issue I've got here is this middle bit's alright because the wing mirror, well, the rear view mirror holds it in. The two A-pillars are alright. It's just these two bits here where the visors go that are a problem. So once a minge bag, always a minge bag. Unfortunately, I'm going to need this now. So things have escalated a bit. I've decided to put all of the trim in the back, well, most of the trim, for I am still clearly missing these bits, which we'll need to come back to, and these bits here. Fuck, that's a whole different episode. But what I've also done since putting the window in, and the window now looking all nice, is we're going to address this. The last time I drove this, the bottom bit was sort of flapping about. I was like, whoa, don't want to lose them because they're worth a lot of money. So what I've decided to do is take the whole part off, as you can see, and what we discovered was the bit in the bottom, that's usually got one of these, is broken. So we took the bit out and I was going to bond it up. And of course, what happened as soon as I started to take the bit out, which was broken, and it snapped. So now what we need to do is come up with a completely new solution for a problem we shouldn't really bloody have in the first place. And that includes this and the product. And it's not often we'll endorse shit.
Yeah.
Because we hate everything, because everything is usually terrible. But this stuff that I bought from Halfords, which I don't even think you'd find on a Halfords website, has held the radiator together for a breathtaking amount of time.
And at full temperature.
At full temperature, full pressure, for many, many, many miles. So now we're going to try, that's obviously steel on steel, right? Which is, we're going to see what it'll do with plastic on steel. And I'm betting, because I don't know how old this is or what horrible carcinogens are contained in it. Hopefully all of them, because I'm going to get a bet on that.
Well, we seen from the packaging, didn't we? Like the packaging had been updated since like the 90s.
Yeah, two pack, and I think it'll put Araldite to shame.
Yeah.
So
the funny thing is, it says in the ad that it will. There's a picture of it lifting,
holding up a 1980s Toyota Corolla, which just shows to go, that was a new car when this stuff was originally made.
The funny thing is, I actually kind of believe that it would.
It might.
I think if you used enough, it would.
It might. So we're going to see if it'll hold this. It isn't exactly a big load, but with bonds plastic to the metal, I'd be very impressed. Now let's be honest, I've only really got one more task outstanding in this. Well, I've got many, paint and ECU and everything else. But the snag list is done. The only thing left to do now is put the rest of the break-in miles on it. And as you can probably understand, I'm really quite reluctant to do that. As much as I think I've fixed the problem by that map sensor, and it hasn't really failed in the 20 or so kilometres I've done tossing about in it, I just don't know. So, there's nothing else for it. The sun's starting to set. Let's go a wee night drive. Me in the fucking face.
song, isn't it?
Why are you so happy with this?